unless I go ahead and do that. All right. Am I on the right pod? I gotta look at something here. No, right one. There we go. How about that one? Yeah, that works. How about that effect? Did you see that? Did you see that? That was so cool.
There we go.
Anyway, good morning. Um, got lots to talk about. We got one of the worst football experiences this year. Last weekend, I think it was the worst weekend that we've had in quite a while. Hang on a second. What was that about? We gotta go get rabbit food and all the stuff. How are you gonna do that? Your mom's gone. Look. Oh, okay, they're back. What? Oh, sorry about the distraction there. Um, we uh, we pretty much got this licked now. I've even had a drive I had to replace it with slowing things down. But that's all water under the bridge now. What happened? I thought, are you done that quick?
As far as all I could afford to do was get her the tags.
Yeah, well.
Yes, that's all done.
Oh, cool.
I'm broke.
It's happy birthday, Missy.
Yeah, pretty much.
Anyway.
The kid behind the counter says, I'm going to have to start telling my mom to give me my tags for my birthday.
She had to get tags because it was her birthday. Anyway, getting back to the subjects here. Got quite a bit to talk about here. As I was saying, it was one of the hardest to watch football weekends this year so far between Ohio State and the Browns. And you just can't imagine what it felt like unless you live in Ohio or are fans of Ohio State. That's my team, but at least it wasn't the week before when they played Michigan.
Well, Michigan was good. It was the Indiana game.
Yeah, the Indiana game is what I was referring to as being a hard weekend. Mm-hmm. Between the two losses, it was just if I get too disgusted with this stuff, I just turn it off. I got no. If they want to lose, they can lose on their own. Mm-hmm. They don't need me watching it. So that by itself is probably what most would call the horrible weekend, which is what it was. There was some positive stuff that came out of the Browns game. I really do think we've got a quarterback. Mm-hmm. I don't know how this is going to turn out, but I really do think that I was impressed with Shador's gameplay. And he actually, I think his quarterback rating was 86, something like that. He threw for 300 or 200 and some yards. Wasn't bad for being third game or second game in.
Yeah.
But it's always the easy ones you're going to get beat on. Yeah. And that's what this last weekend was. But it all comes down to the fact that, some of these teams are so mismanaged that it ain't even funny. And the Browns, by far, have been one of them. I did see that poor old Baker Mayfield got his ass whipped. Where is Nate when we need him?
Yeah. Oh, God. Yeah, he would love to trash him. He's never been a fan of his, but and yeah, I don't know. Well, I hadn't looked that close to see where they are as far as playoff contention. And
they're in. They're still in. The thing I think what happened was the Carolina Panthers are right there with them. They switched places, so instead of being a division leader, the Buccaneers are now a wild card team.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's enough. That
Well, I'll give the reason for why I think they lost. They wore those silly creamsicle uniforms. They never win wearing those.
Creams.
Well, yeah, that's the color of the uniforms that the Buccaneers wore on Thursday Night Football, and at the beginning of the franchise, that was their color scheme, and they lost. I think it was something like 26 straight games in a row, before they ever won a game.
if I was that owner of that team, there would be no more uniforms like that.
Yeah, it just makes me wonder why they were brought back in the first place. They never had any luck the first time around. What makes them think they're going to have any better fortune now?
Maybe that's what.
They
Maybe the
lost for other
Browns ought to
reasons, but
change.
that's just my little dig at them.
And you know why they do that, right?
Money.
Absolutely, absolutely. Sell more jerseys.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the biggest reason for it. It's a money grab. But anyway, neither here nor there now. So don't sounds like they won't be selling too many of those.
Creamsicle uniforms. That was a
That's
good one.
exactly what the color
Remind me to give you a high five when I see you. Creamsicle uniforms. Yeah, right. Whatever. Anyway, let's talk some Buckeyes here. Of course, we haven't been on in 2 or 3 weeks now, and we never really got a chance to talk about the Michigan game. Any comments on that?
The Michigan game, the way it started, which that's a rivalry game, so it's going to be a slobber knocker. At least it started off that way. Michigan came in and they like, here we go, we coming at you, and it was like, uh-oh. But of course, they went on and handled business with them, and the end result is Michigan was outmatched. They were just outplayed. It was what it was. And watch that. Which, as a Buckeye fan, I'm happy. It was a win. They went. They went in there and handled business. And then after the game, it was very composed. It was we're not going to get out there and do the fool thing, which I was happy to see that as well. It's all right, we're going to win. We're going to win with class. And there's something about, it's easier said than done in losing with class as well, but especially a game of that magnitude. But I was happy to see that. So, and now being, a couple of weeks out, it's not much more to talk about on it. Try not to get ahead of the where we're going today on this, of course. And I know at some point we're going to talk a little bit about the drama that's going on in Michigan. And
yeah, I was going to bring that up.
So I want to stay on task there. So, well, that's all I got to say about the Michigan game. They handled business. They came, they saw, they kicked their butt.
Yeah, well, the thing that I drew the most enjoyment out of was that damn Brutus Buckeye. Whoever they've got playing that or wearing that costume, he has got such a twisted sense of humor, it ain't even funny. Going down, did you see what he did? I wonder if I can find that quick. I may have to look. He took and went down to the Michigan end zone. He drew Script, Ohio, right below the Michigan thing, and then jumped over to the Michigan thing and crossed out the M. It was funny as hell.
Okay, all right. Do this like Brutus.
that was a good weekend there. The I pretty much enjoyed that game and and that what was really cool was the Browns won that weekend too, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Was that the Raiders? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Sure.
that sounds
Yes.
about right. That's what I forgot to put on here, but I know what I could do. Anyway, the part of being put together here is not. I'm not going to be able to find that this quick, so we'll just let it go. The other surprises that we've had was the Texans, the Texans, and the this last game was it?
Chiefs. That was the
Yeah,
Chiefs.
the
They're at
Chiefs.
Arrowhead. Yeah.
And I didn't they. I'm trying to think what I heard about. I didn't actually watch much. I watched about 2 minutes of that game on because they had it on one of the TV stations. But who the heck did they play? Wasn't was it Pittsburgh?
No, it was Kansas City.
Oh, Kansas City, right?
They were at Arrowhead Stadium.
And they won, didn't they?
The
Yes, sir.
Texans won. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sure.
And they
that
took
to
the
me
day off.
was one of the bigger upsets of that last week. That yeah, the Kansas City is supposed to be so great, and they sure didn't show it in that game. The other thing I might make a comment about is I usually watch Stephen Colbert on when I'm laying in bed when I go up to bed, and that we usually turn it on for the noise.
Mhm.
And they had Taylor Swift on there, and I had never really seen anybody talk to that young lady um, that much. When she come on to that show, that was a hell of an interview. She got talking about her life and talking about um, the people that give her advice in life. And then she come down and in the last segment, she never said a word about him. And I thought, what the heck? Have they broke up or something? And then all of a sudden, she comes up and she says, "Oh, she says, of course, I'm engaged." And he says, "Yeah." He's to um,
Travis.
Travis.
Yep.
I'm engaged to Travis. And I think if anything, a lot of these rock stars and everything they don't have if they're not tied down trying to make a spouse halfway happy. Um, they get a little bit reckless, which is where I thought she was before she met him.
Mm-hmm.
That was a nice young lady. I was impressed with her. But, there was only about a minute and a half talk about Travis, uh, but he that to me was probably one of the better interviews I've ever seen of a rock star like that. Lady
Mm-hmm.
Gaga was another one that always impressed me.
Mm.
She tried to sing this crap music and it wasn't her style. And then she moved into some of the oldies classics. That woman's got a beautiful voice. But anyway, what's happening down there in Dallas?
Well, Dallas got a beat down by Detroit the other week.
Oh,
And they after that game a couple years ago where wherever I guess you can blame it on the officials partially, but also I blame it on their coach for trying to run the same thing over and over again after we saw it. That was on them. But um, they just have it in for Dallas. So anytime they play Dallas, they have an axe to grind. So and they came out there and they had no business against the Cowboys. Cowboys didn't look that great against them. They did some things okay, and I'm still gonna go on the record and say this: Dak Prescott has had a very good year. He's played good football. Now I did see something, you know, Pickens, who came from Pat's other favorite team, uh, he didn't see it coming. Um, God, but
Pittsburgh sucks! Pittsburgh sucks! Pittsburgh sucks! Pittsburgh sucks!
I knew you wanted that.
yeah, Evan beat me to it last time. But the thing about it was this: is that I saw something in him, and the reason why he was run out of Pittsburgh. As great a receiver as that guy can be, he has some issues. We saw a couple plays where he, for whatever reason, I don't know if it was because he was getting so much, he's getting double coverage and a lot of that, and he wasn't getting the ball. If he's not happy, he doesn't go through. I put it like this: according to that game, it looked like some of the things that people say about him in him lacking a bit of professionalism, because this guy has shown us that, man, that dude can be your number one option. He's he's something different. But you can see where he just literally, I could see one where Dak was like, "What are you doing?" You know, he just took play off. He just quit running. We saw one where just stick your arm out, man, catch the ball. But and we know we've seen his capability. And the dude is, if he really wants to be, man, he's scary good. He is, he's a big receiver and he's got speed. He's got great hands. He's got all the things that um, make you a good receiver. He's got those things plus the size. He's a lot bigger than a lot of these DBs that he's playing against. So, he's a guy that can, yards after catch, he can do some things there as well as make the great catch. So he's different. Then the flip side of that was CD had another concussion. And so by them not playing this past Sunday, so they got, he'll be back this week, and they need him. But I worry about him. I know at least number two for him since he's been a Cowboy, and that right there. As much as I love the game of football, and I heard some fans here in Dallas criticize him, but my thing is, man, when it comes to that right there, that's nothing to play with. When he fell down, you could see him doing that palsy thing with his fingers, and I was like, "Oh God, it just scares me." I always think back about what happened with Tua, and they cleared that boy to play that next game. He had no business playing, but and they say that once you get one or more of them, you're more susceptible to them. So, and the long term effect on that, I don't think anybody fully understands, but there's a time when you got to say, "Hey, that's enough." I've been able to live the dream to get this far. The thing that we desired, us as young folks, wanted to be there, and a lot of us don't make it, to that point. So to be able to walk away from the game, best you can tell in your right mind, because the flip side of that, without going too dark with this, is we've seen where guys have, the trauma afterwards of these multiple head injuries, and what happens to some of the guys. I will not forget a fan favorite here in Dallas, Marion Barber, who, as a running back, he, he was that guy that they told him, you know, you should try running around. You ever thought about trying to run around people instead of trying to run through everybody? Which his career, he was something to watch, but his career didn't last that long, and he suffered some things, and eventually, he's no longer here, a young man, life gone because of that. So, but anyway, with that, with the Cowboys, we got is it the Vikings coming up this week. So we'll see what happens. There's a slim chance, which is possible for Dallas to win out these last few games, but it would mean Philly would have to lose these last 3 games. And first off, I don't see Philly losing to uh, um, the Raiders. So that's what's going on in Dallas. And that's it.
Yeah, I forgot to bring up another positive thing on the Browns. You got to really feel bad for Myles Garrett.
Yes.
Man's almost tied a league record. He needs 3 more sacks to get the league record um, in sacks, and he's really trying to motivate that team. And I don't know if he's doing it very well or not. Some of the interviews I've seen with him over the last couple of weeks, that you can tell it's kind of bothering him. But there again, when you start trying to nail down what the issues were and why they're doing what they're doing, a lot of it comes down to that guy on the sideline there, and he says, "Oh, I'm gonna let so and so do the play calling today," and then you can tell he's had his little fingers in it. And this is, I've always been kind of sort of a Stefanski fan to a point. I loved it the year they were winning, but what he's been putting on the field the last what 10 or 12 games has been garbage, and I just don't understand why they can't. If that was me, as far as a coaching wise, those guys are paid for their contracts are paid. And if you got a preferred contract that's paying you millions of dollars and you don't win, or you don't take and do anything as far as trying to help the team win, then I'm going to bench your ass, and then I'm going to get rid of you because you ain't doing no good. And I thought Shador was going to start out that way, but I think that some of that crap is I don't know. It's hard to describe what I think it is. I don't think that Shador is the best quarterback in the world, but at least is better than anything they've had in the last two or 3 years.
Agreed.
And when you got a guy that's just fresh out of college that's getting quarterback ratings up where all the professionals are, you may have something there. And now Stefanski's decided he's going to um, keep him in for the rest of the games this season. All right, then you get, and this rumor just will not die. I wish the hell he'd just pack us things and go away. And that's Watson. There for almost 2 or 3 days, I kept reading stuff. Oh, Watson's coming back. He's going to be in the best form he's ever been in. But Mr. Watson is about what 5 or 7 years older than he was the last time he had a good season. And I wish the hell they'd just knock that stuff off, go with a decent quarterback, and be done with it. you're going to have a quarterback pick. I can see them picking somebody up in the first round next year, and I think that there could be a pretty good. Shador will give him a run for his money, but you know, for Stefanski to sit there and, well, I don't think he's ready, and it's rookies, and all the we got to make sure all the players are on track for making this become a winning football. You might as well you're blowing smoke up everybody's butt. You might as well just shut up and keep them comments to yourself. What do you think, Evan? You ain't said much.
I I agree with you. I agree with you about the play calling. The personnel decisions are obviously dubious in a lot of respects. I I see the biggest problem that we've had is we're dealing with injuries, but obviously every team deals with that. But the people that are on the field don't seem to be able to deliver that, and it goes back to your point about, okay, you have a contract, you're supposed to be a professional. How about it? See, that game against the Titans last week, that was a game that we should have had. That we were favored in that game, and for the rest of the season, we aren't going to be favored at all. There just is no dispute about that. And it just is it a mindset? Is it, oh well, they're not as good as we are, and that mindset lets people let the guard down, and they say, oh well, oh, they just ran 70 yards for a touchdown, or they just had a 40-yard kickoff return or something like that. Is it just, do you think it's a mindset? I mean, that's one of the things that I see with this team right now, is that the mindset is just kind of, oh well, we'll do whatever we can here, and it's not really, no, we're going to put our feet on the throats of our opponents, and we're going to make sure they understand, you come here, you're going to have to give every last bit of effort to try and beat us. And that's the biggest disappointment about last week. Now, the Browns did try and come back and came close, but still, they never should have been in that situation. They should have, if you have the number 2 defense in the entire league, you're supposed to be able to impose your will on your opponents and stop them. And it shouldn't matter whether it's the Tennessee Titans or it is the Kansas City Chiefs or any other team. If you are truly worth, the ranking, you should be able to just stop anybody, without a doubt. I think, Pat, you had a statistic not too long ago about the Browns defense in the red zone and how terrible it is. They don't stop people when it matters most, and that bugs me as a fan when I see that kind of stuff. We hear the other things that are going on, and to me, the rankings just don't really tell the whole story. That's what I'm coming out with here. But love to hear what else you guys have to say about that.
Couple things in that. But yes, I feel like that was a winnable game. Then the other positive, one of the positives I got from it is that the kid's looking better all the time. And to comment on what Pat said, no, he's not the greatest quarterback in the league, but you know what I see in him? I see upside. I believe that this kid's just going to get better and better. Now, you heard it here first, but I think, and I hate to say this because I still, I'm always, grew up a Browns fan, but I uh, I think we'll see this young man somewhere, and he will really shine. But I don't think it's going to be in a Browns uniform. I Yes, and as they should, I think they should bring in some more quarterback talent next year. We'll see. Um, I think, and part of it is this: it's still something with this young man in the league, and I don't understand. I don't know what it is, but it is, and I'm one of those dudes. I don't buy into the whole conspiracy, thing. But this is just one that I've never seen anything like it. And you look at it, he sells tickets. He's got a great following because everybody wants to see what he does next. And the NFL, we can say we want to, but they love drama. They love drama because they know that it brings in viewership. It brings in revenue. And this kid has some drama. It's going to come with him just because of who he is. Um, how he grew up and everything. But anyone that is more than a casual fan of football, watching him, you got to say, no, this kid can play. Those that don't, those that beg differ are either it's just out of ignorance, not knowing any better, or it's something personal with them. And I have yet to see the real negatives about this kid. They made it sound like one of the things that I heard was he's too arrogant, cocky. And that's one of the things that I keep hearing. And he's, call it arrogance or whatever. I call it confidence because, we know what tree he fell from. And his dad was that dude. He said it, he did it. I was looking at a deal the other week and this past week, and they were talking about him and how Parcells was like, "No, we're not running from this dude," and they got burned. And Parcells was like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, okay, we're not going to throw over there again." So in that, in his arrogance, you know, I need to see more, but we've only had opportunity to see very little. And I'm gonna say this: if he's there next year, and this season it is what it is, it's a wash. But I think we're going to see a better product on the field. Now, will Stefanski still be there? I don't know. But I think we're going to see better next year. But at some point, they're going to have to, wherever he's at, they're going to have to say, okay, look, we we got to get out the way here because fans want to see him. That kid's selling jerseys already. He's doing things, and he's doing the things that you want him to do as a football player, as a quarterback. As that a leader, if you will. You know, uh, but I'm expecting good things from him. I really am, and I think the upside is we don't know how good this kid can be or is going to be yet. But I think he's going to be a good one. Will he be great? I don't know.
Well, I think some of the problems that have come out about him is his own damn fault. I remember back in uh, before Cleveland drafted him, and it's the reason that he fell so far in the draft. The he took and they asked him to take and do the 40-yard dash. He said, "I don't want to run that. Let me give you a video game. You can play. Let me play a video game. I can show you how I'm going to do that." This kind of shit's it's just arrogant, as you said. It's not really going to be beneficial to him, even in the toughest of time. Uh, just shut up, do your job, and if you want a job, you can apply to us.
But mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But
I hear you. But what was that other quarterback in in the combines with him. Was it Cameron Ward?
Yeah, Ward, I think.
Yeah. He was the same way. He didn't. They neither of those guys did. They were instructed by someone saying, "No, don't do this. This is going to make your stock, could make it fall." And so that was part of it. And but no one's talking about Cam Ward. So and I don't know. I don't fully understand the method behind the madness on that either. But again, I think that he has given the opportunity. I think he's got just enough chip on his shoulder that I'm gonna show you.
We can hope. The other thing about the Browns, as far as what's killed them this year, is the same thing it's been for the last 5 years, and that is injuries. Every year, you've got 2 or 3 players there that they'll play a game or two. It reminded me of that idiot that went over to Baltimore from here, Nate's favorite receiver.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
yeah, he'll play 2 or 3 plays. Oh, I'm hurt. And he's out the rest of the game. Now, mind you, I understand some of it's probably true. But this is a butt kicking game. And if you can't take and do the butt kicking, you need to make it so you can. The fact is that these guys being on the field and taking up this roster space for 2 or 3 games a season, it just ain't going to fly anymore. I just think it's time to cut your losses on them. Unfortunately, a lot of it's been the center and a couple other of the offensive linemen. And Cleveland's got enough trouble of its own not to have its own front line in. Remember back 3 or 4 years ago when they took and had they took and had 4 or 5 of the guys were out, and you started having quarterbacks drop left and right. That's how we ended up with that's how we ended up with, I can't think of his name, the one that came off the couch.
Flacco.
Joe.
Yeah, Joe Flacco, yeah. We ended up with him, and he even beat us on our own damn field, which still is an incredible mess to me. How can you take and have a quarterback that is so, you got to wonder if he's been paid off. Don't you guys ever wonder that? I mean, we could be talking about all this shit, and then all of a sudden, nobody is really playing a game like these guys are. I was sitting on the couch and I came to Cleveland, and then the last game we played, he lost the damn game for us with 2 interceptions, one right after another. For crying out loud, if you can't play any better than that, get the hell out of here. We'll find somebody else. Good Lord. Anyway, that's enough of my soapboxing.
Yeah. Well, on that and injuries, because that's with every team, and you see a lot of that. There was a guy here in Dallas, Sean Lee. He was a linebacker. Came from, because he was a Big Ten player, I want to say. They came from Penn State, and he was awesome player, but he was 8 games at best season player every year. And he played with just reckless abandon, played hard. And great player, but you can only get the most you could get was 8 games a year out of it. Then Dallas went through the same thing when they drafted Leighton Vanderish from like Boise State or somewhere like that, and he had neck issues. When they drafted him, they knew it, and he was another one, really good football player, but he couldn't stay healthy.
Oh,
And you're going to just have those. I do understand it is the nature of the game. Dallas has players out. Every team has players out. I look around and a guy I think of that is just tough as nails to me, and that's Debo Samuels. That dude is he's different. But, because of his style of play, he can no longer stay healthy. So you're going to have those. You're going to have those. I think every team deals with it. In the defense of the Browns, neither here. And I know that Pat, that ain't what you're trying to hear, but the game is what it is, and you got to think about this. These guys are bigger, stronger, faster than they ever were. It seems like. So you're going to have these collisions, and that's part of the reason we watch the game. Come on, is we don't want to see anyone get hurt, but because we want to see that tough, that good hard lick, but yet still the guy gets up and makes another play and all those things. But that portion of the game, it is what it is, and it's just going to be there.
yeah, I'm afraid you're right. But that Cleveland they seem to have the records and some of the injury stuff. I mean, when you draft somebody for $245 million a year for a quarterback, and in 4 years he's had 13 games or 12 games, something wrong there. I'm in the
Yeah.
wrong profession. I can fake an illness just as well as anybody can.
I don't know if he faked it or not, but he did. He got paid, brother. And in that, I look at Dak now and you think about that. Well, but salary wise, Dak Prescott is the highest paid quarterback. And but what I like about him is he does come out there and he plays. He shows up. And I don't care what anyone says, as they say, it's been said many times, many different ways, but basically the best ability is availability. And I don't care how good someone is supposed to be, if they can't be out there, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. So anyway, I think maybe it's time to. We got about 46 minutes into the tape here, so let's. Why don't we do some picks? I'm into that.
Okay, I'm ready to go. All right. Go to the top of the list here.
Wait a minute.
All right.
I got to get the Pittsburgh button ready. Hang on.
That's actually going to be one of the last ones. That's the Monday night.
All right,
We're starting with our lowly squad here. Browns at Bears.
I'm going with the Bears on that one.
I got to tell you, over the last week, I've heard some of the stupidest stuff you'd ever want to believe when it comes to that game. I heard that one guy or one sports guy says, I wouldn't be surprised if they just waltzed into Chicago and beat the snot out of them to make up for the last loss. Be nice. Gonna happen? Nice. Think it's gonna happen? Yeah, whatever.
That's wishful thinking, man. That's what that was.
in the interim of that, I think I'll take the old Bears. I don't really see Cleveland winning that. That's the way that they're playing.
Neither do I. The only thing that I'm looking for as far as the Browns are concerned is if and when Myles Garrett can set the record for sacks in a season. That's really what I'm going to be watching for. Otherwise, I'm going to be watching the other quarterback on the Bears squad, Caleb Williams, to see what he does. He came up short last week when they were playing their arch rivals, the Packers, but he seems to have things going on. So yes, I'm definitely going with the Bears on this one.
You know what? And I'm gonna say this: if I'm quarterback and Myles Garrett being the player he is, and even if we're beating the snot out of him, toward the end of the game, I'm gonna tell my team, look, we're gonna give him one. I would let Myles Garrett know, look, now don't you throw me down hard or whatever. I want you to get one here. I will give you a sack. Be like who was that? Brett Favre that did that for no, who was that? Did that? Someone did that for Reggie White one year.
Mm.
And I can't remember who it was, but it was quarterback that basically he gave him a sack.
Would it have been Troy Aikman, perhaps? They played, some years.
I don't remember who it was. I don't think it was Troy, but it was a quarterback that a great quarterback. I want to say it was a Hall of Fame quarterback that basically gave him one, going into the books. Hey, look, man, it's going down. I want you to get your numbers. So to me, if it was me, I would want him, man. I want you to get your numbers. Now, I want to kick you behind, but I want you to get your numbers. And if I go down in the books as that one that puts you over the top, so be it. It's an honor.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I want to see the record too, just so we can claim that. But there again, is it going to happen?
I think it will.
Yeah, he has a good chance.
You know what? On here, why are we doing this? I know we're picking our picks, but I'm gonna take that one, and if I was gambling between the three of us, I'm gonna say he gets it.
I hope he does too.
Take the over.
And another week of Sador's practicing, they might just they got to learn how to win sometime.
Yeah, I think we're gonna see some good. I really do, and I don't think I'm being overly optimistic either. I think we're gonna see some things. Nate and I have had this conversation. Nate is a little bit more. Kind of want to hold him back a little bit because he's driving the Shadur bus. But I'm not driving the bus, man. But I'm riding on it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, we ready for the next one?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, Ravens at Bengals.
Ravens. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening in football this year, but they're at Bengals.
Yeah.
You know what?
They're in Cincinnati.
I'm gonna be the odd man out, and I'm gonna take the Bengals.
I'll tell you the way they're playing with Joe Burrow back, I'd almost be tempted to go that way.
And that's part of my reasoning. And he's going to have a 300-something plus yard game, of course, but he may throw for 400 yards this game. I'm taking Bengals.
I saw him.
Wait, is everyone healthy as receivers, or who's out?
I think his receivers are both in there, aren't they?
Yeah, I think Higgins and Chase are going. Yeah, I think they're ready.
Oh yeah, I'm taking the Bengals.
Give me the Bengals. What the heck?
I wasn't trying to talk you. I wasn't trying to change your mind, but I'm taking the Bengals. The Ravens have been a disappointment.
The Ravens have been an off-on team all year.
And I'm going to say this.
They're good one week and they suck the next.
Yeah, and I'm going to say this. What's the deal? Well, how come they're not using Henry much anymore?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't understand that either.
That's part of it. That's part of what I don't understand. I think there's still some tread left on that tire.
Mhm. I agree. I like what I'm hearing from you two guys about the Bengals simply because Joe Burrow is back, and he has two healthy receivers. And unlike George Pickens, Higgins and Chase don't seem to take plays off. They are
They're professionals.
focused. They are on top of what they're supposed to be doing. So yeah, for an upset, I'll go with the Bengals as well. Next one up, Cardinals at Texans.
Man, just because I don't like the Cardinals, I'm taking the Texans.
Yeah, I think I'll take Texans too.
I'm definitely going with the Texans. They have the number one defense, and they were able to trip up the Chiefs last week at Arrowhead, and that's not easy to do. And I've seen them do it a couple of times. I think the other time was I watched them play the Bills, and they gave the Bills a run for their money and ultimately won that game. So yeah, Texans for me too. Next up, Jets at Jaguars.
The two bottom feeders of the league.
Actually, the Jags have a winning record. They are, and they're hosting. They're just behind the Texans in the AFC South.
I'm gonna take Jaguars.
Yeah, give me the Jaguars too.
Clean sweep. Jets have not shown me a whole lot other than the fact that they have the right mindset at the right time when they can beat teams like the Browns. Okay, so next one up, Chargers at Chiefs.
It's time for KC to win one here. They've been getting smacked around good. And I'm gonna say this about Pat. If Pat had a happy George Pickens, I think they would be right up there at the top again. Because I don't care what anyone says about that dude. Man, that dude is something different.
Mm-hmm.
Pat has it. I wouldn't dare put him in the same talk as Brady yet, but Pat he's got that. He's a gamer.
Yeah. That was Seattle, right?
Chargers.
Chargers.
Chargers. Chief.
I'll take the Chargers. I just there's been a little bit of misplaying on the Chiefs the last couple of weeks. Stupid mistakes that have cost them games. So,
And yeah, I got to say this too. I watched him against Dallas, and Kareem Hunt looked like young Kareem Hunt. But they did what Andy often does: get away from the run. But I think that they're just going to go ahead and do it this week. That's me.
I'm going to go with the Chargers. I've seen the Chiefs, when they've popped up either like bonus coverage or the feature game, and they just don't look right this year. There's something missing, and I can't completely put my finger on. Defense is okay, but it's not otherworldly. And Patrick Mahomes is just he's struggling to make plays. The offense just looks like it's aging, so I am going to go with the Chargers for this one. Okay, next one up. This to me is the toughest one of the week to pick. Bills at Patriots.
Man, I'm going with the Bills just because I'm a Josh Allen fan. I like him, man. He's just a big tough dude. He's a football player, man. He's not just a quarterback. He's a football player. I like Josh Allen.
I think the default would probably be Buffalo to me, but I think the last couple of games the Patriots have done all right.
Yeah, they're looking good.
I'll take the Bills. the hell?
And in upset, I'll say the same. If the Bills can't win this week, they are not going to take the division. It's that simple. The Patriots have just done too many things right this year to, make mistakes. So I'm giving the Bills one last chance. This is their last stand to chase down a division crown. So Bills for me this week. And then we go to the opposite end of the spectrum here with the next game. Commanders at Giants.
Where's Nate? Where's Nate? I need advice.
Boy, oh boy. I, man, and I don't know what happened to the Commanders. What happened to them? And I'm not ready to root for the Giants yet, so I'm taking the Commanders.
Yeah, I'm pretty much in agreement with that. I don't know that the Giants, they seem like about a middle of the roader to me. So it probably, I wonder what what their records are.
Well, I can tell you right now, the Commanders are 3-10. The Giants are 2-11.
3-10. I'll take
3-10.
I'll take the 3-10.
I'm leaning on that too, but boy, you guys have hit upon a couple of things. I mean, what happened to the Commanders? They had let's see here, Chase Daniel, right? That's their
Yeah, he
quarterback.
did have injury.
Yeah, he had some injuries. It's true, but weren't they in the NFC title game last season?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
They were just riding high and just hot as any team could possibly be, and now they're bringing up the rear. But
Yeah, it almost fell off the earth, man.
yep. Just since I have to pick one, I'll go with the Commanders, like you two guys. Okay, here's the next one: Raiders at Eagles.
I would love for the Eagles to, and they're playing at the Eagles too.
Right.
I would love for the Raiders to lose for the Cowboys in the NFC NFC least division. But I think the Giants are going to win this one. They got to, man. The Ravens are everybody's whooping dog, man.
It was the Raiders and Eagles,
Raiders
right?
Or Raiders, excuse me. The Raiders are everybody's whooping boy.
Yeah.
Man,
I'll take the Eagles. That's
so
all
I'm
there
going
is
with
to
the
it.
Eagles.
I'm
I know
throwing
where Evan's going,
I'm
but
throwing
just
caution
for
to
the
the wind
record,
here.
Evan,
Yes.
what is the Raiders record?
They are 2-11. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's an easy one to make.
Yeah, this time, yes,
Yeah,
because the Browns were actually focused when they went to play the Raiders, and that's one of their wins. But this time, yeah, I'm going with the Eagles. They're still they're missing something,
yeah, that should be a gimme. It should be a gimme.
It should be a gimme, and I'm pretty sure it will. But I'm talking, big picture here, long term. That there's something missing with the Eagles, but this week they should have this one. So
I'm gonna go on the record and say I'm gonna go on the record and say Philly's gonna win by at least 10.
I'd go along with that. Okay, next one up here. Here's another tough one: Packers at Broncos.
Now that one, that's a tough one. You're right.
I was thinking about that one last night when I heard they were playing each other. And as much as I don't like Denver because of their past, I think they're a better team, and I just out of that match, I think they're the better team, so I'll take them.
You sold me, Pat. I'm taking Denver. Usually I'm changing your mind, but you got me on that one.
I'm I too will go with the Broncos, and I'm thinking that we're dealing with the seasoned head coach. This, Sean Payton, if you'll recall, when he was coaching the Saints, he came up with that onside kick in the Super Bowl against the Colts, and that won ultimately. So I definitely am going to go with the guy with the hotter hand here. So give me the Broncos. Next one up here, Lions at Rams.
That should be a good game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think so too. But I don't know about Detroit.
I'm gonna take the Rams, and they might be one of the teams we see in the Super Bowl this year.
Hmm.
I don't think I'm far off by saying.
Yeah,
I'll go along. Yeah, go ahead, Pat.
We'll stick with Detroit myself.
I like the Rams here. They've really been good at home. The Lions, that again, I'd say the thing that let them down last season was their defense. It's a little bit better this year. The offense has been kind of stuck in the mud at times. So give me the Rams. Okay, next one here, Panthers at Saints.
Panthers. I'll take the Panthers.
Panthers at the Saints.
Oh yeah, Panthers. Yeah, that's against the Ancient again. They're the
They're the Ancients. Panthers are in playoff position. I think, like I said earlier, I believe that they are now officially the division leaders in the NFC South. So definitely give me the Panthers here. Okay, next up, here's another good one. Colts at Seahawks.
I'm taking Baltimore. I mean, I'm taking the Colts.
Yeah, Baltimore. That's really
Baltimore Colts. Boy, I went way back there, man. I'm telling my age here.
Yeah. That was actually about the same time as the Oakland Raiders moved to Los Angeles.
Yeah.
I'll take the Colts.
I'm going to be the contrarian. I've seen a couple of these Seahawks games, and they are really tough at home. And the Colts don't have Daniel Jones for the season anymore.
Oh.
They are going to struggle to keep scoring. So I'm going to give the Seahawks the nod here.
You brought up a good point there.
Yep.
Brought up a good point. Almost maybe change my mind, but almost just for argument's sake, just to be opposing, I'm gonna stand on it.
Stick with the Colts. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, Titans at 49ers.
I'll take 49ers. West Coast, East Coast thing. Plus Tennessee. They're not impressing me. Let's put it that way.
They've fallen off, but being that I'm a Cowboy fan, I can't. And I know some 49er fans, and they hate the Cowboys. And matter of fact, there's a guy that if the 49ers lose, I may send him a little text message. So yeah, I'm going the other direction here.
I'm going to use my head. I'm going with the 49ers. I saw them host that Monday night game against the Panthers, and the Panthers are a much improved squad. The 49ers don't lose these kinds of games. They just Brock Purdy just he seems to have his head on straight. They are very tough at home, so give me the 49ers on this one. Okay, here is the Sunday night game. We talked about this earlier. Vikings at Cowboys.
I'm waiting to see what what Gordon takes here. Come on, Gordon, give us some insight.
I'm gonna go ahead and take them Cowboys because I think Pickens is going to play better. CD's back, and I think they're going to get this one. I think Cowboys are going to do what they do. They're going to tease us. They love being on the verge of mediocre.
That was what, the Vikings?
Vikings, yeah. The Vikings are
Dallas.
visiting.
Yeah, I think Dallas got them.
I guess I'll go with Nate. Or gee, why do I keep calling you Nate, Gordon?
Man, I'm much better looking than him, man.
Yeah, I know. Give me Dallas.
I feel the same way. And Gordon, you just hit upon it. The Cowboys know how to tease us. But this time I don't see enough going on with the Vikings to have any confidence in them. So
I really don't. And you know, the knock on Dak is he wins now, but gets to, you know, which I don't. They're not going to make playoffs, but you know, down the stretch when the rubber meets the road, that'll be the game when he just craps the bed in front of everybody. But he's been playing good football. He really has. You know, he has played very well this year. And keep in mind, he's the highest paid quarterback in the league. And of course, he had Dallas when he got his contract. He had him. Yeah, there wasn't nothing they could do. We had who we had as backup, Andy Dalton. So
okay, here is the Monday night game. Oh, Pat, you're gonna love this one. Dolphins at Steelers.
Dolphins at Steelers?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
who?
I'll tell you who I'm not going to take.
Pittsburgh sucks. Pittsburgh sucks. Pittsburgh sucks. Pittsburgh sucks.
I'll take the Dolphins.
And they have been stinking up place the Steelers. And you know, of course they're playing up there. And then, you know, they've gone through here lately. They've actually booed Tomlin, you know, saying Tomlin must go. But I still think that he's a good coach. So just to go against Pat, I'm taking the Steelers. I mean, I'm taking the Dolphins.
Oh, you're gonna take the Dolphins? So he did too.
Oh, no. Wait a minute. I'm taking the Steelers. Excuse
So
me.
you want the Steelers.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel the same way about the Steelers. If we're talking long-term prospects, you know, in terms of the playoffs, you know, I'm not sold on the Steelers either. They just aren't showing me enough versus, you know, teams like the Patriots and a couple of the others we just talked about. So, but this week, give me the Steelers, and it's not because I love them. It's just you know, it's as much a respect thing. Do we want to do the Thursday night game as well?
Yes,
Upcoming?
yes, we always do.
Okay, let me go to that. Okay, all right, here we go. This one is going to be really good because it's a division matchup in the NFC West, and we just talked about both of those teams. And they're coming in, at least until tomorrow's results, they're coming in with equal records. Rams at Seahawks. Yeah,
Taking the Rams.
even on the road.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm tempted to take the Seahawks.
Go for it.
Yeah, what the hell? Give me that one. I got to differ from Gordon somehow.
Yeah, I still I still like Seattle. The Seahawks are just a tough team to play against. I expect this to be a really good matchup. I won't be surprised if the Rams come through and take the day, but just playing in Seattle for any opposing team is tough. So I'm just going to go strictly home field here and just give me the Seahawks. And that's it. That's it for this particular week. So
That's it?
we ran through them all.
Wow.
How about that, huh?
We did it without a glitch. Jeez.
Yeah. I can actually hear you guys and see you guys, although I was looking at the pics here for the last couple of minutes.
Well, I guess we can go ahead and wrap it tonight or for today. Unless you guys got anything else. There was well, the one thing we didn't bring up. What do you guys think about that coach from Michigan
Oh yeah.
embezzling or whatever the hell he did?
It was intimidation. Actually, I heard about this. This was a staff member at the university. He was harassing her and doing a bunch of other things, and apparently it just dissolved into breaking and entering. I think it was something like breaking and entering. That's one of the charges he was brought up on. So,
Wow, I totally lost it. Man.
yeah, it just he completely came apart. I don't know what this guy was thinking when he took that approach. That's it's just bizarre to hear this. To hear a coach who's supposed to be level-headed, and a good manager of players, acting in such an uncharacteristic fashion. Yeah, and it's disappointing. It's really disappointing. And if I were a Michigan fan, which I am not, I would be very upset and disappointed right now.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And handling players, but I guess she wouldn't play, so he couldn't handle it. Or maybe she told him, "Look, you got to get a win first. You got to beat Ohio State," and that might. God, I'm sorry. I'm making light of this situation, which is a horrible situation. What he did was just, man, as wrong as two left shoes, and it's just, I hate to hear something like that, Then this man, he had wife and kids, right?
Yeah. I think we're talking about a girlfriend here that he's doing.
Yeah.
It's a staffer at the University of Michigan.
Yeah, and that's what from what it amount to, from what I heard, was it was a girlfriend, and man, this dude, man, he I don't know, I sad situation. We see these. Was it last year or early this year? Or heard about a guy coming in catching a football coach with his wife, and some crazy things like this. College coach again, and it just, you hate to hear this kind of stuff, but realistically, it goes on because people are people, and um, um, you know, we have our weaknesses. Everyone does, whatever it may be, and call weaknesses or whatever our faults, And but that's a very sad situation. It could have been a lot worse, from what I hear. I'm just glad that it wasn't any worse than that, and I feel bad for the young lady. Families involved and all that and everything too. So such a tragedy. It really is. And when I first saw, I'm like, what? And it just goes to show, man, uh, life in general, man. Try and do things the right way, and things tend to work better. And we don't always. None of us has always done the right thing under certain situations.
Yeah. Sometimes it's temptation too.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, let's go ahead and wrap this up for the week. Coming up tomorrow evening, we're going to have a radioactive broadcast. We're going to do the radioactive show. That's from 7:30 to 9, roughly. The topics I'm going to do tomorrow night's going to be a little bit different. It's Dick Van Dyke's 100th birthday today, so happy birthday, Dick. And I'm going to have a clip on that. I want to do a Tamia Rice, or why did I call her that?
Woods.
Tamia Woods has got is going to be, or she appeared in front of Congress here a couple of days ago, and there's a couple of clips on the internet I'd like to run for that. I've reached out to her. She may or may not pop in. You never know. But that is a couple there that you can't help but like them. They've been through such tragedy in that, losing their son to that, and it's just something else. I want to support her as much as I can, so we're going to take and do a segment on her. I've also got information about a thing that they're doing after the 1st of January. That's I think it's a silent auction and some other stuff. They're calling it a gala. But anyway, that's going to take care of tomorrow night. Unfortunately, Monday, my partner in crime, more or less, is we should actually be doing an argument show, but Dale's been in a hospital for almost a week now. And she's had some real physical problems. So I think we're going to just we'll just forego it for this week. And then, of course, we'll come right back here next week for the 4 Guys on Sports. And by then, we should know some more football scores and stuff like that. So if you
will we actually be 4 guys on sports next week, you think?
We're going to try.
Go ahead. See.
Got any friends, you can invite them in. And Nate's always invited back too. But anyway, that does it for this week. Y'all have a blessed week, and we'll see you in one of the shows along the way here. If not, we'll see you next week. So all I got to do is find a button to get out of here, which was there. See ya. This